Good afternoon. Domino administrators are the people that works behind the scenes and are responsible that all company servers and infrastructure is up and running so the organization can do its business. For these heroes, I prepared today's webinar in the series of HCL Digital Solutions Café. My name is Petr Kunz and I will be your guide today. The session will discuss mainly features that are available right now, but if I will mention something, and there will be such pieces, such features that are still planned, not yet released, either for Nodes or Nomad or something like this, please note that until these features are really released, they are still in the planning phase and the functionality can change in the future. This webinar is part of series that we call Digital Solutions Café series. So far this year, we broadcasted 5 sessions. You can see the overview on the screen. Everything is recorded, and once this session stops, all attendees and all registered people actually will receive email with links for video recording and slides for download and later usage. If you have some questions or comments, please use the chat or question session in this GoToWebinar tool. The main part of this session is how tips and news for admins how to do some things in themes like security, automation, some user tips, storage, and so on. And at the end of the session, I will share with you some resources that could be useful for you as a Domino administrators. So let's start with the first section, everyday tasks. Everyday tasks, what we as Domino admins do, and some tips or best practices that I gathered across the years that I work as a Domino admin. Let's start with the first tip. For those who, first 2 tips for those who are relatively new to the Domino admin area, you can, in your Notes client, you can add 2 useful buttons that allows you to use Domino admin features, even if you do not have Designer or Domino admin installed. It is useful especially on the Mac clients, because on Mac client there is no native Domino admin or Domino Designer. The first one is an easy button that anybody can add to the toolbar, and it launches Domino console, Domino server console. Let me show it to you live. This one. This is my first button. First button. Remote console. If I click on it, I'm connected to the actual server. I can select whatever I want. Click on Live Console. Now I see Live Console from the server. And for example, show task, send. It sends me show task commands. For simple commands, this is useful and quicker and more flexible than starting Domino admin client and using console there. So easy tip, and all you need to do is add this command into the custom button. The another one that I started to use years and years ago is something that I called magic button, and it allows you as an admin or sometimes as a developer to update every field in the selected document on low level, let's say on low level, even if the field is not exposed in any form, so you cannot simply open the form, edit, save, and so on. This is how it works. This is a database, demo database. I select the second button, read and edit fields, magic button, and in sequence of 2 or 3 windows, it guides you how you can create or edit existing field. So in this document, there are, I don't know, 50, 60 fields. And if I select one assignees, for example, if I select this one, I can modify it. It is text value. Okay, this is current value, and I can modify it as I want. I will not save it, but yeah. So this is how you can, let's say, on low level, modified fields in the database documents. You saw that you can also delete the field. If I select this one, assignees, okay, and next step I can edit or remove the field completely from the database. This was very useful. This editing values was very useful, and it was the main way how I did it until version 12. Let's say until version 12, because what's happened in version 12? In version 12, we released new in partnership with Panagenda. We released enhancement in Notes client, new properties box. This is what I mentioned last month. It is part of the Notes client since version 12.01. If you have older clients, you can download it for free from the Panagenda side and install it yourself. You, as a admin, because I expect there are Domino admins logged here right now, so you want more than just the default advanced properties box that is part of the Notes client out of the box. So you must go to the specified link and download the enhancement of Notes client. This is a new plugin, and this one allows you, as you can see, editing field, creating new field, and also deleting field. So if you do this procedure, you do not need to use or add magic button, because this is more flexible and more pleasant way how to do this. If you cannot deploy custom plugins in your Notes environment, or you get used to magic button, this is how you can download. And I use the code, so you do not need to have to Google it somewhere. I put it, this is not my code, but I put it on Gist, and with this link you can just simply copy paste and create a magic button for you. Yeah. Okay. Let me go. USA admin, I mentioned you often have to check the values of some fields, maybe modified, but if there are dozens of fields, you cannot be sometimes sure what exact field name you are looking. If you have a database and you want to change the field, you know which field you want to change. So for example, if I want to change this field, I have to know the field name. If the form is complex, you probably want to open the form in the Domino designer, go to the form and realize, okay, this value is this field, so I can change the field. But if you are on Mac and you do not have installed Domino designer, as I mentioned, there is another option, and it is still in preview phase, let's say, or in open beta phase. And you can use, even if you do not have Domino designer, you can use this one. You can use Nomad. The latest version is 109. I think I got the latest 1.10 preview. You can see this is the preview version. And in the preview version, you can, even if you have nothing installed on your PC or Mac, you can do right click, open in Designer. This is completely new feature. And here it is. I'm on Mac. I do not have Designer installed, and yet I can open the form. I can open the form I'm looking for. It is, yeah, for issue tracking. Double click, and now I can realize, okay, issue severity, issue images. This is the field I need to change. And the name is issue severity, so I can go back and use either properties window or magic button to change the value. This is preview. We plan to release it in a future version of Nomad, of HCL Nomad. And now you can test it, you can play with it on our HCL sandbox. Okay, now let's move to, we are working with fields and and databases and so on. It means you probably work with Domino administrator. As you can see, I've got many open windows because I need to present it in different environments. This is my Windows virtual machine with Domino admin installed, with Domino admin client installed, and few tips. You can customize what you see in this field view and in the list of columns. If you go to File, Preferences, Admin Client, Files, and here you can move from left to right what you want, available columns and the columns that are actually used, and even the order. So if some column is important for you, you can, in this configuration window, you can move it more to the left or more to the right. You can also, this is the quick way how to get an overview. Hey, give me a list of or databases with full text enabled, DAOs enabled, NIF NSF enabled, and so on and so on. If you have many databases, you have distributed across different subdirectories, of course. And to get a flat view, a quick tip for those who did not mention, there is a small button at the top right. If you click all, it flattens all the view, all of the subfolder structure, and now you have all fields, all databases across the whole server. And if you have them, you can select Control A, Control C, and copy paste and go to Excel, Control V, and now the information that I specified in the Domino admin, I export it as a spreadsheet into Excel, for example, and now you can modify, you can filter, you can create charts, anything you want. So this is another tip how to work with these file section. Okay, let me move to people view. In people, you can do several tips. For example, if you, and let me scroll more to the right. Okay, you can, if you do renaming, if you have applications and you are renaming a person, you plan to rename a person or replace him with a new guy or lady who will take his place and so on. You want to know in which documents this particular person is mentioned, is listed, where the name is used. And there is some hidden feature. If I select myself, find user, this one, find user, and it will say, hey, do you want to search this name across the domain? I did yes. And now let me, because it takes a couple of minutes, I will show you screenshot of results. And what's this? Okay, so here it is. I select, hey, find user, find selected user across the whole domain. It creates admin request in admin for database for all servers, and it takes a couple of minutes. You see, 15, 30 minutes once it is done across all servers. And if there is a occurrence of my name in the document on the server, it is all listed as a document link or application link in the results in admin database, in admin request database. So here are the examples. Okay, this name is used in this agent because I signed these agents in these, I don't know, 40 database access control lists, and also within the documents, not only in database properties, but in documents properties. So this name, Peter Kunz, is mentioned in these specific files and these Domino directory documents. One will be person document, another will be probably a group membership, and so on. So this is a good way that is there out of the box, and you can just use it by clicking find user. We have the same for groups. So if you go and if you just unveil groups, and this one. If you unveil groups, select the group. In this case, it is Vault Authors. It uses the old name. Previously, Domino Leap was named Domino Vault. Now we want to rename it Leap Authors to match the product name. So I want to change. I want to check, hey, where this name, Vault Authors of this group, is used across my servers, across my domain. So I use the same procedure, and it returns the result. It returns the result where it is, where it occurs. There is also another way how you can work with people and groups, or another use case. And the use case is, okay, there is a document, there is a person, John Smith, and I would like to know in which groups John Smith is a member, either direct member or nested member across a few levels of group membership. There are two ways how you can do this. One is available on all recent versions. One is only in version 12. So in all versions, what you can do, you can go to the groups section in the Domino administrator and select groups manage and switch to group hierarchies. And then if you select a name on the left, it will disclose and display all the membership of these people, of this person, sorry, across groups in the names NSF. So you can see this guy, Peter Kunz, is member of, I don't know, 5 or 6 groups. In this group, it is member as a wildcard membership / showcase. I am direct member in full access admins, which means I am nested in local domain admins, which means I am nested in Vault Authors. Yeah, so this is out of the box, just a little bit hidden, so not everybody knows about it, and you can use it from Domino admin. What is new in version 12? We put this feature more on your admin side, and it is included in the person document directly. So you open person document for the person you would like to check, click on the find groups, and Find Groups button, and this is the result that you will see after a couple of seconds or minutes. It goes across our groups, also nested, and you can see that the result is the same as we've got here. It is just a different display of the result of the output. So this is everyday task about groups, membership, and files. And yeah, and the last one is if you have multiple directories, external people, internal, maybe you have some test domain and you have directory assistants and so on. So you would like to be sure, say Domino admin, that there are no conflicts, no duplicities in email addresses. And if you go to the administrator, and this time select not find user, but validate internet addresses, it scans Domino directory, and you can select just the primary one, names NSF, and you can say, hey, I've got external directory, testing, and so on, and do the check across all directories. And the result looks like this one: 199 are unique and zero duplicity. So this is good outcome. This concludes section basic everyday tasks with Domino admins and how to manage fields, how to work with users and groups in some useful way. The second category, second section, is monitoring. Monitoring, let me scroll. Okay, so tips that I gathered for this section are domain catalog. You know, domain catalog is available on all servers by default. Once you load domain catalog, it is updated, I think, 5 a.m. in the morning every day. And showcase, do I see Domino catalog here right now, or I can open? Here it is. Okay, so these are the applications you can search. A good way is that you can search by access control level, and here is where you can find some misconfiguration. For example, if you have a manager level for default, this one is for template on time that we deployed recently. If you have default for Anonymous, for example, Anonymous manager, this is the demo application, but it should not be configured this way. So this is a good way, this view, how you can check and manage if you by accident did not provide big access control list level to someone who does not need it. And this is also a good way how you can check the access control level in the new licensing, or these CCX and CCX users and known guests and so on. The condition for using these special licenses is a limit in access control list across all databases, not across just 3 or 5 databases that they use, but across all databases. And this catalog view can help you with this. You can notice that. Okay, let me check. I go to Domino database. Okay, checking. Yes, you can edit the design. You can create your own columns, like we added columns in Domino Administrator. You can add your custom view, copy paste from the view that is closest to your requirements, and add columns. On this slide, I put some useful columns that you can use to create your views, your reports, and also And also the tip, I will not open Designer, I just show you the screen. You know that not all databases are shown in catalog views. It is filtered by this switch, list in database catalog, yes or no. It is in the designer properties for each database, and it makes sense because, for example, you do not want to show personal mailboxes because they all have unique access control list, and they are used mainly by 1 or 2 people, and that's it. So they are not interested enough to be observed via catalog. But if you use catalog for security, so you want to get outputs and results also from databases that has this switch on or off. No, doesn't matter what is set, and you can do this easily. You can edit the catalog in Designer, select the view that you are interested in, and just remove this last condition in the view selection formula. You can see the filter is show all databases where this is valid and this is valid, and not true that this switch is 0, that this switch is off. If you delete it, it will show you, and it will show you immediately. You do not have to wait until tomorrow or run load catalog. The database info is stored in the catalog. You just unveil it. So this is what I used if I had to prepare some outputs across all databases, and I wanted to be sure that all NSF is included. Okay, speaking about monitoring, now there is section about monitoring your clients. This is what I split into 3 parts. You as a Domino admin want to know which client versions are installed in your environment, which operating systems, some inventory, some information about your infrastructure. Because for you as a admin, it's easy to manage servers. They are under your control. They are in data center, in the cloud, or locally, and you have full control over these servers. You do not have such full control over dozens, hundreds, or thousands of PCs and workstations that are in the wild of your users. Second need that USA admin probably have is that you want to quickly onboard a new user, either if it is totally new in the company, or if you switch a laptop, or you provide a new client type. Because now it's not only about rich nodes client, it is not only about this rich nodes client. You can use web client, which is Nomad, and you can use mobile client, which is also called Nomad. So you want to provide some quick start for these users. And third category for this client management is you want to push something. You want to push either configuration or new version. And for each 3 subsections, I created a slide. I created a slide. And the first one, gathering info about your clients. This is what I repeat in many of my what's new in Domino version 10, 11, 12 presentations, and I will repeat here as well. Check, configure, and start using Marvel Client Essentials. It is now part of Nodes Client and also Domino Server. You just need to configure it, and it can it can show you, it can repeat, it can give you overview of clients. Let me show you some. Here it is, analyze. Yeah, so for example, this one, and okay, overview list of my clients using this infrastructure by nodes release. So we've got version 12 and version 14, all builds or fixed specs. Recently in a discussion in some group chat, I saw, hey, how can I get list of people that have a specific fixed spec installed? Because I want to install maybe some hotfix for this fixed spec, or put other people that are still not on this fixed spec to deploy this for these people. And so let me check version 14, and there are people, and there should be me. Yeah, so that's me using version 14 beta. This is the information up to date. So it was gathered recently and no updates since. You've got info about workstation, about nodes ini parameters. You can even get access to the workspace. Let me show you. It opens on another window. But if I move it here, hey, this is my workspace. This is my workspace, and you can see it. And it's in web. This workspace that was gathered and stored on the server. So for example, help desk can use it and can navigate me through the icons on the workspace, for example. So this is the way, and it's free. It's part of the Nodes license. So it's for you admins just to enable it and start using. One node. It is available for Nomad Web and Nomad Mobile as well. So you will gather information not only from Nodes client on Windows and Macs, but also from your mobile and web devices. Second request was, I want to give my users easy start with the Domino environment. And on Domino, we use apps and mail. So I want to present them somehow links, applications, shortcuts to the most used applications and mailbox, personally mailbox probably. Nomad can do this. Nomad, Marvel client. Marvel client that I show you has a config section, and in this config section you can specify all employees or specific a group of employees, for example, managers, external people, salesmen, and so on. When they open Nomad Mobile or Nomad Web, please configure it that they will see this list of recent applications and it will be automatically populated for them. So this is the screen, this one. So this helps you in a situation when you configure Nomad Mobile for a new user and you do not want to give them access with empty screen, so they have to go to file, open, server, database, again 6 times or 8 times. Instead of this, you can create one config document and set, okay, I want these 8 databases, 8 applications will be deployed by default to all Nomad clients. In Nomad Web, the situation is slightly different. You want maybe to allow people that, hey, this is how workspace use in my Nodes client. And once I start using Nomad Web, I do not want to start with blank workspace. I want to start with what I see right now. Please copy one-to-one if possible to this web interface of Nomad Web, so I can continue where I stopped on Nodes client. And again, Marvel client can do this. Marvel client for Nomad Web can do this. This is one way, one-time synchronization, let's say more import, and you can see applications that used to be on your Nodes client that are on a Nomad web page. Marvel client web migration this is how the feature is called. And the third section in this user workstation management was about pushing configuration, all type of configuration, and pushing new versions, update, hotfixes, fix packs, completely new version from version 11 to version 12, for example. Marvel client can do this as well, but unlike previous features, this one is paid. So you have to pay something. I think they have, for this feature, they have free 25 user trial. So if you want to test it for free, download the trial, test it, and if it is okay for you, you can move to the paid version. So this is the last tip for managing end user workstations in this section. And before we leave, before we move to another one simple tip: please check if you have license tracking enabled. It is again user related, user clients related, and if you enable it, Domino server will store internally each day, every day, will store whether John Smith or Mary Jones access the server and using which protocol. NRPC, HTTP, IMAP, for example. And it is stored and it is marked, and every midnight it is collected, and there is a summary. Then every month there is a summary, and so on, and it is gathered. And the information is used in DLAW tool, in Domino License Analytics utility, that you now use if you want to measure and check the number of active users that use your system. So it is just one click. Please check in your systems if you have this license tracking enabled. It does not send anything to the HCL, and I think it all stays locally, and it is called license tracking. More likely it should be like usage tracking or usage overview, because it tracks whether John Smith logged on a specific day to the server. Okay, moving to the next section, which is storage, NSF, how the data are stored on the disk, and if we can do it better. So some tips. When I do workshops for customers one-to-one to a specific customers that are on older releases, on older versions, for example, on version 12, on version 10 or version 9, they are not always realized how they can move data away from NSF, so that it is still fully functional, but the size of the NSF file, of the NSF database, is smaller. So just quick two mentions, or three. First, if you update to the on-disk structure 53, you can have 4 times bigger limit for NSF database size itself. Yeah, we know it. It's here for 4 years, since version 10. What not all admins are aware of, that from NSF you can move away. You can move away data that are not necessary be part of the NSF file. We know that by default full text is moved away. Full text is stored in a separate .ft subfolder next to the database. And in similar ways, you can store indexes, view indexes out of the database. In some databases, the indexes could take a big portion. It could be like 30-40% of the NSF database. And and if you want, you can also enable DAOs, documented attachment and object store, and move documents, files, attachments out of the NSF. Plus, there is a big benefit. There is deduplication of these documents. So if one PDF is sent to 20 people, with DAOs, it will be stored on the disk only once. Just a reminder where it is enabled, and then in recent versions we have also option for DAOs that is called tier 2, like second level, and I prepared a schema for this. First level, first layer, this one, it means attachments are stored directly in the NSF database. DAOs, as we know it for, I don't know, 8-10 years, tier 1, as it is called now, is that the files are stored and deduplicated on server level. So one PDF file is the same PDF file is on server A and server B. And tier 2 gives you option to do deduplication also on server layer. And you can specify the storage. This tier 2 is some S3 protocol compatible storage. It can be locally, or it can be in the cloud. It can be in AWS or some S3 compatible cloud provider. Okay. And one note, if you started with DAOs many years ago, so this is not new for you, but maybe new. What could be new for you is that in version 12 we updated the algorithms and key sizes, how we encrypt the NLO objects, because you can enable whether it should be encrypted, yes or no. Encryption, yes. And if you enable it 8 years ago, then at that time some encryption level was used, because at that time it was okay. Now there are more strict requirements for security and encryption. So we added the new protocols, new algorithms, new ciphers, and you can use this command DAOs encrypt manager to re-encrypt old NLO files stored and encrypted the old way. So this is how you can move to the new encryption level even on old files. I mentioned NIF NSF, how you can move nodes, index files out of the NSF. If you will search it in help documentation, search for NIF NSF, and I put the most important commands or commands and nodes init parameters into the window. You specify where you want to store indexes, some separate disk drive, some separate volume. You enable it. You say NIF NSF enable 1, and load compact to all databases or to some databases will enable it, will turn NIF NSF on. And if you want to, by default, since now every new database that will be created will be enabled for NIF NSF, you can use the last parameter. Why I mention, or why I focus on making the NSF databases, making the NSF files smaller. Not only for the, let's say, production level, but you have to note that every NSF that is living on the server is copied on some archive and backup solutions several times. So every gigabyte that you save on production level means multiple gigabytes on less archive and backup storage. And you can exclude full text indexes, of course. You can recreate them. The same is for NIF NSF. You can recreate using Abdol. You can recreate these indexes. You do not need to backup them. And DAOs, you have to backup DAOs, of course. You cannot backup just NSF and not the attachments. You need to backup DAOs, but DAOs from the definition is immutable. The attachment will not change ever. So once the PDF or doc file or Excel file is stored on the disk, it will be the same for eternity. So you can save it and backup only once. Unless NSF, because NSF changes all the time, so you probably backup NSF every night. And speaking about backup, you know that since version 12 we have these new backup and restore tasks. I mentioned it several times. Just 2 notes for this admin level only. The first one is, yes, the backup Domino backup and restore out of the box functionality is prepared, is ready for integration with third-party backup software by other vendors. All you need to do is just to configure it, because every backup vendor can do it different way. For VM, because it was asked many times by partners and customers. So for VM, we did this integration. If you click on the link, it leads you to the script and config files that you import into the backup database, and you can configure it with your enterprise VM deployment. So if you have VM, please check this one. If you are a small company, do not have third-party backup. You do backup, for example, by shutting down Domino, copy NSF, and so on. It's fine if you are a smaller company. And even in this case, if you do not have some third-party software, you can use, or you can move your Domino backup to a new level, speaking about reliability and storing backups on multiple places, not in just one hard drive in the company and so on. And you can do this by simply setting storage in backup database to use S3. It could be in Amazon or locally. Let me show you this one. Now I'm switching to my personal computer, and here it is, Domino backup. Review of past backups. Every past day I did full backup, all databases, or just selected just some subfolder. Backup itself is very easy. You can do it with program document, and it is load. Yes. Did I send it? No. Okay. Now it is running the backup, and if you configure it, to store it not locally, not in D drive or E drive, but using this simple configuration, store it on some S3 storage. In this case, it is Amazon AWS S3, and this is where these data goes. This is my account in Amazon. So even if you are a smaller company, you do not have special backup server, special infrastructure, you can create your account somewhere and point it to it, Domino AWS backup, NSF, name of the server, full backup, this matches, and here are the files that I back up. So you with this you can increase reliability of your backup without having third-party software, and yet you can move it somewhere. You can move it somewhere that is compatible with S3. It could be some cloud provider or locally Minio, MinIO on-prem solution. Okay, so that's it. That was for storage. Next part is automation. How to automate things. I also like in other sections, I add some older news, like news in older version, not precisely in version 12. This one is since version 10 probably, but I know that in my daily admin time, when I did the daily job as a Domino admin, part of my regular controls of customer environments was checking mailbox and handling and deleting dead mails. And now you can just specify how to handle undeliverable mail in mailbox. So in this case, mail router on Domino makes 12 attempts to deliver the mail. If the mail is stuck and cannot go to recipient, nor back to server, after some time it is marked as dead and deleted completely from mailbox. So this is the way, if you have troubles with full mailbox queue, fill it with dead mails, this could be relief for your troubles. For automation, into the automation section, I added taking care about clusters, because by default, without this feature, if you have server alpha and beta in Domino cluster, Domino take care about the clustering within seconds, that's fine, but you have to explicitly create a replica. So if you create application on server alpha, then you have to create a new replica manually on server beta, and since then Domino cluster will maintain these replicas in the same state. If you utilize symmetrical cluster feature, you can specify subfolders on the server side, and once you put a new database in the subfolder, a new replica will be automatically created on the partner server in the cluster, so you do not need to do it manually, and it is maintained to act as a mirrors. So that's why we call it symmetrical cluster. In this case, if I put any database either on alpha or beta into these databases, they will be automatically created on the other server. Automation means not only automated tasks, but also automated installations. We did a big step forward in the last version, in the version 12. You know, as a admin, you probably installed many Domino servers manually, that there are two steps in Domino installation. The first one is called install, and it installs binaries. And the second one is setup, and this setup is what makes the Domino server unique. Server name, domain, Domino admin, whether it is first server or part of existing domain, and so on and so on. And the first one, the left one, is automated for a long time. By automation, I mean you can run it unattended without some human typing commands, entering passwords, clicking next, or something like this. Here's the example of the command that you can use to install binaries. Setup was more complex, and until recently, setup needed to be done manually. So you had to follow the wizard, first server, additional server, and so on. You know it. In version 12, we added option. We added so-called one-touch setup, and it simplifies this setup again to one command. You can see it. N server exe and autoconfig and provide the parameter. Parameter is a JSON file which is human readable, and you can see it on the screen. So this is setup file, and if you pass it to the server exe, it will create, and you can read it. Create first server in the domain. Name will be admin server, domain name. This is host name. Cert ID password, super admin password, and store admin this file. Done. This is great if you want to deploy temporary servers, like for testing development that will last a few hours or a few days, and then will be discarded and created again and again, or if you are in container environment. The first use case can also cover education. We've got a partner that use this script to quickly create a Domino server ready for educating either customers or new employees that were hired recently. And before this automation, he spent half day or 1 day preparing virtual image, installing, fixing, creating accounts for 20 users, for 20 students, and after the education the next day it was deleted. With this script, he can now create it within minutes, and it is same all the time, so he does not forget any configuration, any parameter that he used for these education. Yeah, these are parameters, how this JSON file is passed to the setup on Windows or in container. And it is not just about first installation. In the installation wizard, there are like 10 files: admin name, server name, domain name, 10, 15, 20 fields, 20 fields. But the JSON file have dozens of parameters that you can use, not just set up, but also configure, to do some initial configuration. It could be creating custom login forms, specifying HTTPS and TLS certificates, and so on. I put some important values into these 4 categories. I will not mention everything. You can read it, you can check it. And this is a great enhancement in configuration. You do not need to have to do it manually. I mentioned this is used in container environment, because if you run containers, you need to automate everything. There is no place to do some manual entry of server name and password and admin name or something like this. So with this enhancement, Domino can run as a container, and Domino can run either locally, for example, in Docker, or in pods in Kubernetes if you want it, hosted, self-hosted, you name it. If you are into this area, just 2 quick links. if you want to focus and start locally with local containers, Domino on Docker, Rancher Desktop, Podman, all these flavors of local container engines. There is one master site that you should check and start with. It is updated regularly, almost every week there is an update, and with this script on this page you can build Domino image based on your needs. So you can combine, hey, I want Domino 1202 fix spec 2, put Traveler on it, put Nomad on it, maybe Verse, and build it right now. And it takes a couple of minutes. A image for using in containers and Kubernetes is built, and then you can use it. You can use it in your use cases. So this is for local. If you want to go wide to more orchestrated environments, which means Kubernetes this way. We published recently some examples how you can deploy Domino using Helm charts. Let me show it. Oh, no. This one. How it works. So you have a clue for those who are completely new in this area. There is a platform for running containers somewhere, and with this, let me show. Yeah, this is these are parameters that I put into this JSON file, and I not JSON, YAML, and I can point something. Yeah, so you can see server name, domain name, server ID, what should be in the server task, password. I also say, okay, export HTTP with this port, HTTPS, NRPC, this is Nomad port. I want to use certificate from Let's Encrypt. This is name, blah, blah, blah. So this is like configuration. And let me show you this one. And this file takes and done, and that's done. It take 1202 version container, deploy it on the platform, and now Domino is started. Let me check, there's a bit log, and now you can see it is starting. Loading autoconfig parameters from this JSON file that I provided, and now the values that are in the file I used for first server configuration. I used superadmin. Taurus is the server name. Server Taurus ID is reused. I instructed it to create local certificate authority that I will use later for Nomad, because Nomad needs HTTPS connectivity. ID Vault is created, and so on and so on. And it was just one command, a few seconds to deploy, and now the server is starting. So this is how it looks in live, deploying Domino in container or in Kubernetes environment. Okay. The next section after automation is configuration. What? Some parameters, maybe about performance and server config, that I put in this section because they do not match any other specific sections like security or user management and so on. So they fit into this config section. You know that update task takes care about updating views and updating full text. Of course, full text has lower priority, because in comparing to updating views, because views are used constantly and full text could be updated from time to time, not so frequently. But if you have some big full text update in the queue, it can occupy the thread for minutes, for example, and all the classic ad hoc view updates need to wait once this big full text is indexed. With this setting in server nodes ini, you can create a special thread for full text indexes, so they will not occupy thread for classic view updates. So this could improve performance of indexer and your user satisfaction. They will see less delay icons, spinning wheel, and so on. The second parameter says that if you index full text, you by default full text update use RAM, use memory that is allocated by Domino server because it is part of the Domino server. With this setting, the full text will not take or steal memory from Domino, from other Domino tasks, but will use memory from operating system out of Domino. So this again could increase performance and give more memory for the remaining Domino processes. And the last one about full texts is also about performance. You know that not every database need full text enabled. There could be databases that have full text disabled, but it does not mean that you cannot search within this database, either as a user or often as a agent in some agent. You start some search query, you want to fill in some document selection, you use search, and if the database is not indexed, it is working, but it is slow, and users could complain and so on. So you can use this parameter ftfly index of this one that prohibits so-called on-the-fly indexing, that it is not pre-indexed by indexer, but it is indexed inefficiently during the time when the index is requested, when the search is requested. But if you disable it, it means those agents could stop working. So you have to check the logs, and if you see the warnings, agent couldn't run because database is not indexed or something like this, it is information for you. Okay, in this database, search is used, so I should enable full text and done. Recently, in recent versions, we added another performance-related feature that constantly monitors how views are updated, and top 10 views, like VIP views, we can call them, VIP views are indexed in a dedicated thread. So they no more need to wait in the queue with other views, but top 10 active views are indexed in a separate VIP thread. If you click on the link below, there is detailed description how these VIP views are calculated, how you can measure. There are links to statistic parameters and so on. So if you suffer with slow updates in a few key views that are big and used by the whole company, this could be a article that you should read and check. For configuration in Domino directory, you have groups, and sometimes by accident some admin, you or your fellow admins, can delete some database by accident. Either they think that it is no more needed, or they overview there are multiple groups with the similar name, and they delete the wrong name and such. So if you have groups that should be protected and cannot be deleted by simple delete in the view, you can put names of these groups into Domino directory profile that is listed on the screen. And by default, there are these well-known groups, local domain admin servers and other domains, and you can add your groups, and they are protected from deleted by accident. Next section is security. So let me show you some security tips. The first one is two links. The first one is first link is linked to fixed list database. If you are checking, if you need to, this one, if you need to find if your problem was fixed in FixSpec2, for example, you can check it, and you've got details if your problem that you reported, for example, in previous version, will be fixed. There is also a overview of what is fixed in each section, in each version. And this one, and this business partner created a simple web application that takes data from this fixed list. And for example, if you are on version 12, for example, just simple 12, there are 41 security updates. It takes data from the fixed list, filter it only on security updates, and you can see, well, let's say like 1202, 10 security updates were fixed in FixSpec1 and FixSpec2. So this is good for you. You can bookmark this. You can bookmark this link if you are Domino admin who is responsible also for a security. If you directly open Domino services to the wild, to the open internet, it is good practice to hide, to not propagate on which software is running behind these services. If you are external system and you contact, it could be SMTP, HTTP, anything, part of this handshaking and initial contacting protocol parts, it could be information about the server, and sometimes it could be host name, it could be vendor name, it could be software name, it could be even version name. So for example, in this case, I did initial check, HTTP check on my demo Domino server, and you can see it reported, it propagated that this server is running on Lotus Domino. So now potential attacker could check vulnerabilities and try to attack specifically knowing that the web server is running on Domino. By this simple nodes ini parameter, I hide it. I hide this link, so now it reports as a generic HTTP server. So if you expose internet servers not through proxy, not through some proxy like Nginx or Apache or something like this, but you expose this directly, please check these banner hiding. Also, if you have access directly from the internet, please check if you have enabled and enable eventually internet password lockout. That is a protection from guessing the password, like brute force method. I will try, if there is a John Smith, and try 50 default passwords for John Smith, then Paul Smith, and so on. So if you want to protect your Domino server from these brute attacks, there is a feature, Internet Lockout, and you can use it. Some updates in Domino Vault. If you do not use Domino Vault, please check it and consider using it, because in the future some features or more and more features will require Domino Vault. For example, right now Nomad Web and Nomad Mobile takes admin files from ID Vault. So without ID Vault, it's either not functional or hardly functional. And for admin Vault, now since version 12, you can take, as mentioned on the left side, you can take passwords, not from internet password field, but from the password stored in the vault, which is usually by default it should be the same as password that user used to unlock his or her Notes ID. So with these settings, people should use only one password, and they do not need to synchronize internet password and Notes password. Sometimes if people use multiple PCs, laptops, and you have policy to change password every 90 days, and the passwords are not synchronized or not used on all user devices regularly, some device could be blocked. So for example, if it was not used for a long time, it tries to log in, and the message could be, the password you entered doesn't match the password that is in ID Vault. Please change your password so it matches the ID Vault, and so on. We added, I think in version 11, we added this switch in Notes INI, and with this switch, if the password, if the ID is not synchronized with ID Vault from my laptop, is not synchronized with the server, it is probably because the password does not match. But you do not want to take care about it as a admin. We are talking about automation and such. So these settings will tell ID Vault, okay, if the synchronization will not happen more than 7 days, there is something wrong. And probably in ID Vault, there is old information, and actual correct information is on the user PC. So after 7 days, please archive what you have in ID Vault and store Notes ID from the user PC to the ID Vault, so we can start synchronize again. So this is great relief for admins that has to solve this problem. Security means not only user security, user and server, but also how internet services are exposed and propagated to the internet. I strongly encourage you to check the ciphers that you enable in the server document or internet side document. Here are the examples how I have on my server. Only top 4. Domino will even guide you which ciphers are deprecated, and you probably should not use them. Those are these below. And if you do these settings this way, you got in well-known SSL check, SSL check on SSL apps. The check you will have A rating. It is good, but it is not the best. To get 8+, you can do 2 more things. The first one is OCSP stapling that you can enable with these settings. You have to know OCSP server for your certificate authority. I use Let's Encrypt. And for Let's Encrypt, it is this one, R30 Let's Enter org. And if you do this, the incoming request will easier check whether your certificate from certificate authority is still valid or not. And second option that you should enable if you want higher rank is HSTS. In other words, mandatory transfer from HTTP to HTTPS, so attackers cannot initiate lowering protocol from HTTPS to unencrypted HTTP and so on. So you can, in Domino, you can set mandatory redirect HTTP to TLS, and if you increase the validity from default 1 week to, I don't know what time is this one, at a half year or something like this, then you can receive A+. So this is what I did earlier this year, 21 March. I checked my server, exposing directly to the internet, no proxies, and I got A+ for pure Domino. If you use SMTP exposing, you should check, if you did not do yet, you should check setting incoming and outgoing security for SMTP. For outgoing, Domino now allows you to sign messages with DKIM, link how to enable. And for incoming, you can set Domino to check incoming emails and check validity and consistency, DKIM, SPF record, and the incoming email, whether it is okay email or suspicious or spammer or attacker or someone like this. So these are new features in 12.01 and 12.02 recent versions. Tips for admins. These links I used when I did some checks on Domino, especially the first one is a great tool, Learn DMARC, and it guides you interactively how to set up DKIM SPF, which results in DMARC, and also do checks for you. It will show you, hey, this is a email. If you send to this email some test message from your mailbox, and I will tell you if your mail server, if your Domino is configured correctly. So this is a great way how you can check if your Domino mail is set according to RFC protocols. Some user tips that you can enable for users. You know that if people sort emails into folders, there are two ways how to delete the folder. Right click and remove folder, or just clicking delete key on the keyboard, and there is this confirmation window, and then it is deleted. With these settings on Notes INI on the client side, you can remove option for deleting by accident using delete key, and they have to use only right click. So this is useful, and you can save some headaches on admin and user side. If you migrate users from one PC to another, they probably want to migrate recent contacts, and they are stored on two places. Of course, names NSF. This is what I show you, but it is also stored somewhere in, let's say, Eclipse, in this low-level client environment. And here are locations on Mac and Windows, either single user or multi-user, that you have to move to the new PC as well. So this is tip if you will face this situation. Copy documents as stable. I think maybe admins know this, but not sure if all users. If you have something. showcase is the right location. This one. Show me some database. Showcase. This one. Some files, some view. Show me product inventory. Edit. Copy as table. And then if I do Control M, a new email is created. And I can paste it. And now it is pasted. And another tip: if we are in table, if you select a row, if you select a row and you want to reorder it, move up or down, if you click Control and arrow up and down, you can move it. Now I am this one. Different keyboards on Mac and Windows. You see, I am moving the row up and down easily in the table. So this is another tip. Use Control and arrow to move cell or the selected cells up and down. And if you are if you use mail in your environment, please consider offering on-time calendar user interface for your users, so you can give them nice looking interface. For those who did not saw it last time, this is how it looks. Nice internet, nice view about calendars across your company. For 25 or 50 users, it is available for free. So if you have 50 calendar users in your company, you can start testing and using it right now. Please check it. Then for admins, I've got tip for this one, Domino Admin Tools. It's a NSF that you download and locate either locally or on server. And this NSF file allows you to do operations, some low-level operations that you need to do as an admin. Actually, this is a good toolbox, and these scripts and actions are used internally by our support system. So we developed this internally, and now we share it with you, with customers and partners. These are operations like managing profiles, low-level deleting documents based on document ID, changing replica ID, and so on and so on. So if you are Domino admin, please check this link and download. If you did it in the past, check it also, because we released version 2. We now released version 2. I've got also, and this is last section, 3 internet tools for you that I think could be useful if you are Domino admin. So it means you are also network admin and security admin and so on. So if I do some tests locally on Domino, sometimes I need to export ports to be accessible from internet. Typically, if I need to install Domino and I want to get Let's Encrypt certificate from Let's Encrypt authority, so I need to expose port 80 or 443. For this, I use Cloudflare tunnels service. It is for free. And for example, the Taurus that I used for my demo and that I deployed using this Helm chart and so on in the middle of this session, it is exposed to the internet via this Cloudflare tunnel. So anyone can, once I start it, anyone can access it via web, even if it is located on my PC locally in my container. So this is useful. Second is Uptime Kuma, a tool a tool that I use to monitor if server is up and running. If you are responsible, this one. So now I can see this Kubernetes server is up and running, and demo server in Amazon AWS is also okay. Now you can see I noticed certificate is expired, so I have to ask for new HTTP certificate, and this is it. So it is free. You can either use it hosted, which costs some money, or run it locally. So with this tool, I know if all servers I'm responsible for are up and running. And the last one is this one it is called Homepage. Also free, you can run it locally. And if you have multiple servers, like I have several demo servers, Traveler, Leap, On Time, REST API, even some internet, you can create this clickable, clickable dashboard that leads you directly to the services you need. Go to Verse on my demo server, one click, show me Leap on the same server, so I can start working with application. Another click. It's starting. Give me On Time that I want to demonstrate. Yes, this is the Leap that started. So I create this dashboard, and then I can use it easily. I can use it easily for starting web pages that I use the most. The actions that will be, and last slide, actions that are ready for the upcoming weeks and months. Till the end of this year, there will be 2 more sessions in this CEE Café series. In November, it will be what is new in version 14, what is planned for Domino and Nodes version 14, because at the end of this year, we plan to release version 14. So what we knew until now, we will present. And in December, we do, as every year, summary what was important in the past year and what we should expect in the upcoming year. And on the right side are community events. If you are from Nordic state, at the end of November, there will be conferences, one in Denmark and one in Sweden, 21 November and 23 November. Info and registration under the link. I think they will be in English. And the bottom one, SUTOL conference, if you speak Czech or Slovak or Polish and understand Czech, we've got Polish attendees as well last year. So we've got annual SUTOL conference. It will be online. This one will be online, so you can sign for free and join SUTOL conference. That will be at the end of November. Thank you for joining me for this session. Soon I will officially stop the session, so we can cut it and publish to YouTube. And after I stop it, I will check if there are any questions or comments in the chat. So thank you. I hope that you found some information that you did not know as a Domino admin. Thank you for doing this sometimes not easy job, like maintaining servers, users, all these patches, security things, and so on, to make everything running. Thank you, and I hope we will meet in some events, either in face or virtually. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.